A child of the housing crisis. This is Logan, aged 1, 2 years old, and 3. For most of his life, temporary accommodation's all he's known with his mum, Nicole.
Do you like your home?
Yeah.
Do you like being at home?
It's Mummy's home.
His playground,
We're going to have it on here.
his kitchen, his life,
Would you like some water?
all in one room.
He did a big bang!
But they're just one of thousands of families spending longer and longer in places like this. A Sky News investigations found some children are spending up to 5.5 years in temporary accommodation.
They told me I could be here for another 3 years. So he'll be nearly 6 before I leave. And it's like, how do you take that? You know, some days it makes me cry. Some days I'm like, well, it's what it is. But really and truly, I hate it. I don't want him to be suffering in one room.
No, maybe.
We first met Logan and Nicole in emergency accommodation in 2022. She's here because she fled domestic violence.
They group all of us together, people with mental health and, you know, people who drink and do drugs and stuff.
She works full-time, but couldn't afford rent.
Can I get on the back, please?
Each day was a 4-hour round trip for childcare.
I've worked since I was 17. I've dedicated my life to working, so why am I finding it so difficult?
Are you okay? I know you're doing everything for Logan, but are you okay?
I mean, I'm tired.
A year later, October 2023, and they've been moved.
He's nearly a toddler, or is a toddler.
Another temporary room in a hostel.
Do you feel safe here?
No, temporary accommodation isn't safe for a child. It isn't safe for anyone under the age of 7. But when the government are giving nothing to the council and the council have nowhere to put us, they're literally putting us where they have, be it safe or not. Logie.
Nicole's juggling a full-time job as project manager for an IT company, as a single mother, and living like this.
Don't go back to sleep.
When Logan first moved into temporary accommodation, he was 1.
Turn the light on.
He's now 2, with no end in sight.
Does it take its toll on you, do you think?
Between the last place and here, all my hair fell out because of my anxiety and I wasn't sleeping and I was so stressed, and you can see like the little bits of it growing here now.
The long-term impact on children is also on Nicole's mind.
If we stay here any longer, the more he understands and the more he remembers, that's when the impact will get worse.
So you sort of worry there's the pressure you want to get out before a certain age.
But I don't think I will.
You don't have any hope of that?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Because they're telling me 3 years from here now. So I would walk a different route, but yeah.
As the housing crisis deepens, making ends meet is still a struggle for many like Nicole.
I was in the food bank several times, and in a way, I feel unjustifiable to go to the food bank because I work and I earn money, but I had no money in my pocket. I had no food in my cupboards. I had nothing. I genuinely had no choice. I had no food to put in my son's mouth. I had no food to put in my own mouth.
Claire's a lawyer at Southwark Law Centre. In the past year, she's dealt with more and more cases of children in temporary accommodation and seen their education and life prospects eroded.
You have the long-term impact on children's mental health. You have the social isolation. Children in hotel rooms don't have desks to be able to do their work at. They fall behind their peers so quickly. And my fear is that it leads to a 2-tier society. So we're talking a significant number who will grow up with completely different life chances.
Sky News data shows families with children are spending longer in temporary accommodation than anyone else. And it's a postcode lottery, worse in London and the South East than any other region. But there's a sharp difference too in the length of stays even within those areas, anything from 2 weeks to over 5.5 years. Why is there such a big difference? Well, it's down to how much housing stock each council has, and that varies depending on where you live. Part of the long-term answer is to build more homes. The government has a target of 1.5 million new ones in 5 years.
Talk is cheap, it's action that counts.
The shadow housing minister describes Labour's plan as confused.
Look at the maps. Look at the map where those houses are. Many of the boroughs of London have seen a decrease in their targets for housing delivery. A decrease. Yet we know the demand in London for rough sleeping, for temporary accommodation is at the highest. So that makes no sense. So it's chaotic right now. It's all over the place.
The government say they've inherited the consequences of years of failure to grip the housing crisis and are working at pace to end homelessness.
Ready?
But almost another year on, in 2024, Logan and Nicole are still in the hostel.
So he's turned 2 and 3 in temporary accommodation?
Yeah, and probably 4.
Wow.
So.
Most of his life?
Pretty much, yeah. Most of his childhood anyway, which has been sad because I feel like these are the most important years where they grow and, you know, they build themselves.
And for the first time, Nicole's considering leaving London, where she was born.
I can't even get through the reference checks in the estate agents because I don't earn enough. So they're saying to me that I need to
Because
earn...
it's one income?
Yeah. So for me, it's like, it's almost embarrassing. I have a good job.
Her priority now is to get Logan out.
He always says, oh, why do we only have one room? Which is sad, 'cause I don't know what to say. Sorry.
Do you find it hard emotionally when he asks you those questions?
Yeah, I do, because it's like, I don't want to lie to him, which is the hardest, but also I don't really know how to tell him the truth.
Temporary accommodation is not truly temporary anymore in this crisis, displacing a generation of children for longer. Adele Robinson, Sky News.